Let's dig into private equity right now. Take us from 2005 to 2024. Why is PE such a hot topic these days? Why has there been such a big movement over the past few years? We've seen it in HVAC and other industries and things like that. So why now? Why private equity? Why roofing? Just kind of paint a picture of that.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it. Private equity companies have been pretty successful in the HVAC space, and so alternative investments have been on the rise in the last 5, 6, 7 years. So these are high net worth individuals. These are institutional investors who typically were in the public markets and stock market buying normal stocks like everybody else, mutual funds, and then private equity starts coming in, which are coined alternative investments for these folks. And so instead of making 8% per year in a typical public market, some of these funds are doubling and tripling their returns every year. And so it's a very attractive piece. And fundamentally, what private equity is it's a group of folks who raise institutional money or high net worth money. They put it into a fund, and then they go out and they buy private businesses. And they buy private businesses with the intent of growing those businesses, revenue and operationally, and then selling those businesses for more than they paid for them. And then the investors get a return on their money. And then the private equity folks make money at what's called carry and also investments as well. And they also make management fees. And so there's lots of ways for these private equity companies to make money. There are certainly different types of PE firms. I think there's like something like 18,000 private equity firms today. There's over $4 trillion under management today and like $1 trillion on the sidelines. And so nobody who's got money to invest wants their money sitting on the sidelines. They want that money invested. They want it making money. And so they're really pressuring the investors, pressure these private equity companies to go buy businesses. Now, what's interesting and cool about the roofing industry was, 4 or 5 years ago, it was not really a saleable business, very low barrier to entry, very people-driven organization. The entrepreneurs are generally, we'll say generally, but a lot of times unsophisticated. They're not MBAs, but they're hard workers and they figure out how to make money and solve problems. Well, the private equity world goes out and starts making money in commercial landscaping. They're making money in different home services and HVAC as of late. And so they say, well, where else in the home can we be successful? And roofing seemed like it was the next logical step. And so they went out into the roofing industry and found some of the larger businesses. And now historically in our space, larger businesses have been storm chasers. And private equity is adverse to the cyclicality in storm work. And so they didn't like to see that. And so there's a little bit of pause. But then they found residential. And, we partner with North Branch Capital, which is a small private equity firm. We grew our business from something like 45 million to over 200 million in just 12 months and very steady growth. And we exited. And when we traded partners, if you will, when North Branch Capital sold the primary share, it was a notice to the industry. And ever since that point in time, I think there's something like 120 PE firms that have come in the space in the last 12 months alone. It has been an all-on full frontal attack. Anybody who owns a roofing company, or heck, anybody who has a company that starts with the letter R, they're getting solicited for private equity firms. And I want to say that I don't want to be too long-winded here, Joe, but there's different ways to make money in private equity. And it's really important that you folks who are considering selling their business understand the different ways. A lot of the small companies coming in are just opportunistic investors. They saw what happened with IHS when we traded. They saw the possibility of this market being highly fragmented. There's some 50,000 contractors. They see that it's a non-discretionary business insofar as, people don't wake up in the morning over a cup of coffee and say, boy, I can't wait to buy a new roof. They replace roofs because they leak. And so it's a necessary evil, if you will. And so it's an attractive space for private equity companies. Now, small private equity companies, I don't want to get too disparaging, but a lot of them operate on a financial engineering model. And so what they do is they take advantage of phenomena where they buy 3 companies, all doing $1 million a year. They pay 5 times for those businesses. So instead of give you $5 million for it, that's a total purchase price of those 3 businesses of $15 million. But a $3 million business is worth maybe 10 times. And so that's $30 million. And so they can, in theory, acquire 3 businesses, do nothing to improve the deliverable to the customer, the people, and then sell that business and out of thin air create $15 million of value. That's what can happen in this business. That's what people try to do in this business. So that's kind of one set of private equity companies. another set, and they'll do some things like align financials, maybe hire a CFO, but it's very minimal impact to the business, the customer.
Okay.
Then you have these companies that will grow at all costs. They're going to buy as many roofing companies as they can, do very little diligence, and they will deploy the PE 101 model primarily, which is what everybody's afraid of and should be afraid of. This is why Toys R Us went out of business in part, is that they go in, they buy a bunch of businesses, they raise prices, so they raise marketing, they raise prices to the consumer, they cut costs to their subs, they negotiate with the vendors, ABC, Beacon, SRS, lower prices, they create margin accretion there, and then they sell that business off in the future. My question is, what real value are you delivering to the customer? Does that customer, who the company you bought, are they getting a better experience at a better price, or are they just paying more for the same experience or a worse experience? It's a question, right? What IHS does and what we're doing is, we're a founder-led organization. I'm the CEO and founder. I torn off roofs, a lot of them. I've installed a lot of roofs. I've been a salesperson. I've been an operations manager. And I've lived through every evolution of a roofing company, from starting it from scratch to 50 million, and understand the difficulties and the hurdles that it takes to get there. And we have designed systems from the residential retail side, both in technology and operationally, to be successful. So we can really add value to the brands. We can drive a better customer experience through technology and through our operational systems. We can help develop leaders. And that is what a good private equity company is going to do. They're going to come in and up-level your people. They're not just going to replace all your people with MBAs coming off the Columbia protest lines. They're going to have real roofing people in this business. I mean, but really, we fundamentally believe in the entrepreneur spirit, the core values of that founder-led business, and we want to keep that founder owner in that business and provide him the support that he's looking for, she's looking for, whether that be recruiting, marketing, operational support, technology. That's where we truly help, and we really have systems to do that. It's not just conjecture, which is what a lot of small PE firms say, and then they don't know. And it's not who we are.
So yeah, I think that's a fear that a lot of, our clients have and people that we talk with have, is like, hey, I don't want to sell to just like a PE company that's just looking for a financial, model there, a financial gain, because I built this thing. I don't want to lose my people, my culture. I might want to stay on as the CEO running it. So that's your guys' approach. That's how you look at it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we won't partner. I mean, primarily we won't partner with someone unless they're staying on and want to run their business. We've had a couple where it was an older owner that was sunsetting, and the leadership team, the second in command, had been there for some time. And we met with those folks and got a good understanding that they had the same cultural alignment. But yes, we want folks who, I still do a lot of the M&A calls, and I'm on all of the diligence stuff because I think it's important that we get cultural alignment. And if we don't have cultural alignment, you have problems. I mean, frankly, and the way I define culture is the collective values, beliefs, and behaviors of an organization. Or said another way, it's the collective personality of an organization. And when I'm talking to young entrepreneurs and mentoring, we talk about the cultural vampires in the building. And every entrepreneur, every roofing leader has been through this. They have a killer salesperson who's just a cancer to the organization, but they keep them because they think they need them. They have an office person who does great on the phones, but doesn't align with the culture. And I try to impress upon them, it's so important to get those people out of the building, because they're doing more disservice to your business and your culture than they are doing good for their individual, whatever you call it, individual efforts. So yes, we partner with founder-led companies. We want the founders to stay on. We have created a framework that we call the triad, which is people, customers, and prosperity. And what we did was we got all of our founders in a room together and we said, let's build a business that would strike the fear in the heart of each and every one of us. Because if you're an entrepreneur and you've led your own business, you carry the weight of the world on your back, your people, your customers, safety, all these things, and who might come to your market. And I said, okay, what would a great company look like? Deliver their estimators are super sharp, intelligent, know everything about the roofing system, and can get there the same day. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, so you want those opportunities. They deliver a phenomenal customer experience through better engagement, like an Amazon type experience. We created that great company on a whiteboard, and then we said, instead of waiting for that company to come to our market, let's evolve into that company. And so us as a group created metrics for our people, for for our customers and for our prosperity that we thought would be a great business. And now we're all working our individual brands to do that. And we're doing that collab. So that's the way we approach business.